Hello everyone, welcome to Different Media. My name is Forrest Stevens, and today I'm going to be doing a review on this portable battery generator. This is the EB70s, and it has the capacity of 716 watt hours. Now that is one of the most important aspects of this. I'm going to get into all the other things, but the capacity is really important because that's basically the fuel of the energy that's stored in here in this lithium iron phosphate batteries. Now that means that if you had something that drew 1 watt, you could run it for 716 hours. Now if you had something that ran at 716 watts, you could run it for 1 hour from this. So you can look at some of your household appliances or some of your van appliances or LED batteries and things like that, and you can see what the wattage is, and you can calculate how long something like this can run it for. That's really, really important to see if this is something that is going to work for you, if this is the size that you need. This is a really nice kind of medium sized battery pack. I don't want to get into all the other brands, but there's ones that are 500 watt hours that are actually priced similarly to this. So you get pretty good value for what this actually is. So we'll go over some of the buttons here, and hopefully you guys can see those. We'll bring them up here. This has 4 outlets for household appliances. This is going to be your 120 volt. So there's a pure sine inverter in here that takes the batteries that are wired, I believe, for 12 volt. I imagine 12 volt. Let me actually check that. The battery capacity is actually 22 volts at 32 amp hours. So then they have probably something in here that would take it down to 12 volt for these outlets here, but we'll get there. So this takes the 22 volts and ramps it up to 120 so that you could plug blenders, laptops, whatever you need. I actually, while we're here at the homestead and not in the van, I use this to charge our electric batteries, and then I charge this with solar, which we'll get into as well. But I like that because then I can feel like my electric battery is solar, or my electric bike is solar powered, which is really kind of a cool feeling. I also use it quite often to charge my batteries on my phone when I'm out and about in the yard working. And that's through this system here, which is the 12 volt side of the battery. Has a 12 volt cigarette lighter. It has 12 volt outlets for kind of like plugs, which you can attach to different 12 volt appliances, or some 12 volt appliances will come with these little plugs here that work quite well. There's 2 5 volt, these are USB A's or B's, I know these ones here, these are 100 watt USB-C's, so you can actually do a rapid charge to your phone. If you have a laptop that is powered by USB-C, this would actually power it, which is really, really nice because then you don't have to activate the inverter in here, and you're not losing power to that inversion happening. You're able to just power straight from the 12 volt side, the DC output, and get that power for your laptop. That's really, really great. The other thing here that takes power is this light. So there's a couple different modes. This is really nice in your van if you have really, really limited setup. If you have a very basic setup, if this is the heart of your setup, this light could come in handy. I know of other people who have used the lights on their battery packs as their primary lights. And so this one has a little LED, and you can actually see on this LCD screen here that it shows that it's only taking 1 watt. So literally, you could run this on a full charge. You could run this for 716 hours. So then we can press that again. It goes a little brighter. It's taking 2 watts now. And we got a flashing light happening here. And then it's off. So that's that. The LCD screen we'll get into here. You can activate it. It kind of goes to sleep every once in a while. But you can activate it by pressing any of the buttons just once, and it'll show an input and an output. and it's right now on 60 hertz for the pure sine inverter. You can actually change that by going into some of the settings. So the way you charge this is you can plug in, it comes with 3 different adapters. It comes with an adapter to plug into the wall, and it comes with an adapter that you can plug into its MC4 connectors. So you can plug it into a solar panel. Bluetti has foldable solar panels that are 200 watts that work perfectly for this. 200 watts is the max solar that you can hook into one of these. I had an old one laying around. It had a few different adapters so that it would work for different battery packs, and it was only 60 watts. So I didn't get a lot of charge out of that, but I just left it. You know, I don't need to use this all the time currently, so I just left it to kind of charge slowly. I also had some old solar panels that I took off of the motorhome, and they already had some MC4 connectors. So I disconnected one of them because I had them in parallel. I had 3 of them. And so I disconnected one to make it 200 watts, and I lined those up, and you know, they're a little dirty, they're a little old. It's hard to get the right angle, but I was able to get some wattage out of those and into this battery pack, which is kind of nice. And then there's also an adapter to be able to plug it into a car and charge it, which is one of the slower ways to charge it. If you plug it into the wall, I think you can get about 200 watts. Solar, you can get max 200 watts, and through the car, I believe you get 100 watts. So it is a little slower, but it'll still get the job done. The other thing that uses power that I didn't mention was on top here, there's a 15 watt outlet for wireless charging. And this actually works quite well. You put your phone on there, and you have to activate the 12 volt part of the battery. So a few other things about this battery pack. One of them is there's exhaust fans on either side, and these kick on pretty quickly after being of like any sort of use of this, you know, anything above maybe 10, 15, 20 watts. I'm not sure exactly when it kicks on, but they do kick on pretty regularly to keep this battery cool, which is good. You know, it's going to keep your components lasting longer. And the other thing that they do is they also kick on whenever it's getting charged quite a bit as well. So it has some temperature sensor in there that gauges when is the appropriate time to start cooling it down. One of my favorite things about this battery is the handle. The handle is flush. You know, there's one very popular portable battery generator out there that has a handle that goes up here, and it's just going to be in the way in your build. Why is the handle in the way? I mean, you want to get something that is as compact as possible when you're working in a space that is very small or living in a space that's very small. This handle comes up and kind of locks, but it's very sturdy and strong, and you can see here that it just comes back down, and you have a little divot here that you can get into whenever you need access to that handle. That's all you need. Very, very simple. I did mention this at the beginning, but this is a lithium iron phosphate battery, and they are really, really great for the amount of charge cycles that you can get. This is rated for over 2,500 charge cycles, which means that this is not a product that you get and use and you start seeing it degrade and you throw it away after a couple of years. You're going to get a lot of use out of this. And this will be a powerhouse, like I said, for a minimal type van dweller. And in fact, they have smaller ones than this, and people use those smaller ones for their van dwellings. And so this could work even for a bigger van life setup too, possibly, depending obviously on your needs. But you just calculate that by knowing that this has 716 watt hours. My favorite little features about this is the wireless charging. It's the actual size of it, being that it's just small enough to be compact. It's not something you have to lug around. You can still carry it with one hand. It's a little heavy, but it's not going to strain you too hard. It has a 2-year hassle-free warranty. That's really great. And like I said, this handle design is just so Simple and of course smart. Why would you not design a handle that goes into the battery to make it perfectly square so that you could build this as, like, you could build this in place and not have to have a charge controller for your solar panels. It just goes directly in here. This is a MPPT input, so you don't need a big charge controller for your 200 watt system, and you don't need a pure sine inverter that's also very big, and you don't need all of these 12 volts and accessories and a USB that you have to connect to it. It's all just compact. It's all simple. This is an all-in-one unit for anybody who doesn't want to have to do their own electrical, or anybody that doesn't want to have to do such a big system that they're going that it makes it feasible to pay somebody else. This is all compact. It's simple. You plug and play, drop it in. And also it's modular. So you could build it in place, which is nice because it's square, but you could also just have it as a modular unit that you can move around. You could take it outside of your van. You could set it up on a picnic table, have lights, have music coming up, you know, plug in your music player, all that kind of stuff, and have this as something that can go in your van and out of your van. Now, I've teamed up with Bluetti to do a giveaway for one of these things. So you're not going to be getting this one that's a little scuffed up that I've been using, that I've discharged to see the capacity of it. And one lucky viewer is going to get one of these that they will send directly to you. And the way that you do the giveaway is there's a link in the description for Gleam. There's a few different ways to enter, like subscribing to my review channel, which I do dedicated reviews of products on, and a few other ways. And it's very, very simple. And one of you will get one of these, which is really great because, you know, it's a pretty high value product. It's a fantastic product. It's affordable for what it is, but you know, this is a nice get. If this is free, that's a nice get. So check that out in the description. I also just wanted to say that Bluetti has an amazing fall sale going on. From the 20th of October to November 3rd, they have a bunch of their products on sale. I'm gonna check out some of them right now and tell you about them. You can get this guy and a 120 watt solar panel, foldable solar panel by Bluetti for $161 off. That's a pretty good discount. There's other things on here, $50, $30, $20. Oh, there's $100, there's $200. I mean, there's some seriously sick deals on some of their products, and they make them all in this kind of aesthetic and design where it's compact, it's simple, it's functional, it's beautiful, it's utilitarian, but also kind of futuristic and just nice feeling. It's not cheap. Bluetti makes really, really great products in general. So I highly recommend you check out their fall sale. It's only running from October 20th to, what did I say? to November 3rd. And for all you that want to win this, check out the Gleam link in the description. Thank you all for watching. I hope that this showed you all the different aspects of this portable battery and gave you some ideas of what is possible with something like this for your own build. And thank you, Bluetti, for sponsoring this video, for sending me this, and for asking me to do this review. It has been fun, and honestly, if I had anything negative to say about this, I would, because I'm not obligated to not speak poorly about it. My reviews are always honest. They're always my true thoughts. I don't hold back, and I just haven't found anything to be negative about this. It does what it says, and it does it well. It has more capacity than they actually rate it as. It charges, it has its lights, you know, everything works on it. Everything works like it's supposed to, and it's of good value. So I recommend it regardless of the sponsorship. And yeah, thank you all for watching. See you on the next review.